Air travel in 2025 is changing rapidly, not just in how we fly, but also in what we're allowed to bring on board. As security protocols tighten, the TSA will confiscate these common items in 2025, and many passengers might not even realize they're carrying something prohibited until it's too late. These rules are catching even seasoned travelers off guard, especially with some surprising updates that were quietly introduced this year. If you're planning to fly anywhere in or out of the United States, it's more important than ever to double-check what's in your luggage because a simple mistake could cost you time, money, and even ruin your trip. Stay tuned as we uncover the most unexpected items the TSA is now confiscating in 2025, including things people have been packing for years without any issue. And trust me, number 6 will completely change how you pack your makeup bag. In 2025, TSA is doubling down on liquid restrictions, and full-size sunscreen bottles are now a common item being confiscated at checkpoints. Despite being essential for travelers heading to beach destinations or sunny climates, any liquid, gel, or aerosol over 3.4 ounces is still strictly prohibited in carry-on bags. TSA agents have reported a significant spike in people losing expensive brand-name sunscreen simply because they forgot this rule. Even though the FDA now classifies sunscreen as a medical product, the TSA has not updated its enforcement. Many travelers assume that a medical classification allows for exceptions, but unless it's clearly marked as medically necessary and declared at the checkpoint, it will likely be thrown away. To avoid confiscation, pack travel-size sunscreen in carry-on bags or place full-size versions in checked luggage. Airport security lines are becoming stricter, and agents are instructed to remove these items even if they are nearly empty or slightly over the limit. Smart luggage is also facing new scrutiny. Some models of high-tech luggage come with non-removable lithium batteries, or GPS tracking systems, that interfere with TSA's ability to screen them properly. If the battery can't be removed or disabled, the bag might be confiscated or denied at check-in. Travelers should make sure their smart bags comply with updated airline and TSA regulations by ensuring batteries are removable and clearly labeled. Otherwise, that fancy suitcase might not make it on the plane. Many travelers love to collect natural souvenirs from beaches, parks, or historical sites. Things like sand from Hawaii, shells from Florida, or rocks from national parks. But in 2025, the TSA, along with the Department of Agriculture and National Park Service, has become much stricter about protecting natural resources and ecosystems. These items are often flagged at security checkpoints, especially if they're packed in plastic bags or containers. TSA officers may confiscate them on the spot, especially when they suspect the items came from protected lands. Even though some of these items are not outright illegal, their removal is often against federal preservation laws, and the TSA is assisting other agencies in enforcing those rules. This means travelers returning home from scenic vacations might have their souvenirs seized, and in some cases, they could even face fines. The safest way to keep memories of natural locations is through photos, videos, or officially licensed merchandise rather than collecting items from the landscape itself. Reusable water bottles and insulated thermoses have become standard travel companions, especially for eco-conscious flyers. But now, in 2025, certain models are being confiscated due to false positives during X-ray screening. Some of the high-tech or multi-layered containers block the X-ray view, making it hard for TSA to inspect the interior. If a bottle is opaque, metallic, or has hidden compartments, it may be flagged as a suspicious item. TSA agents are instructed to request removal and full inspection of these containers. If the bottle cannot be adequately screened or opened, it might be confiscated, even if it's empty. In particular, travelers should be cautious with brands that advertise vacuum-sealed double-walled designs or smart features like Bluetooth tracking or integrated filters. While these features are convenient, they may trigger extra scrutiny. To avoid issues, carry transparent or single-layer bottles and make sure they are emptied before reaching the checkpoint. Always be prepared to open the container if requested.
Fitness enthusiasts and health-conscious travelers often carry protein powders, pre-workout mixes, or dietary supplements. But in 2025, these seemingly harmless powders are attracting increased attention at TSA checkpoints. Powders larger than 12 ounces must now be placed in a separate bin for X-ray screening, and in some cases, agents are performing additional testing to rule out banned substances. TSA agents have reported that unmarked containers or plastic bags filled with white or tan powders are frequently flagged, especially when they lack commercial labeling. If the powder appears suspicious, or if the passenger refuses to allow testing, the item may be confiscated. This is especially common with custom blends or products purchased overseas that do not have clear ingredient labels in English. To avoid having supplements thrown out, travelers are advised to bring powders in their original containers with clearly marked labels. Additionally, packing only the amount needed for the trip and storing it in checked luggage if possible can reduce the likelihood of delays or seizures at the checkpoint.
We're halfway through these confiscation updates, and I bet some of you are already checking your luggage mentally. But the next item involves something that seems completely innocent, but is causing major problems at security checkpoints. And if you're enjoying these insider tips, stick around because the final few items will shock you with how common they are. Makeup kits and beauty products may seem like unlikely security concerns, but in 2025, TSA has updated enforcement around cosmetics, especially those in cream, gel, or aerosol form. Items like foundation, concealer, liquid eyeliner, and setting sprays fall under the same 3.4-ounce rule that governs all liquids and gels. More notably, some luxury or imported cosmetic brands have packaging that looks similar to weapons or concealed devices. For instance, lipstick containers shaped like bullets or mascara tubes with sharp ends can raise alarms in X-ray scanners. TSA agents are trained to assess not only the content but also the packaging for anything that may resemble a threat. Additionally, compact mirrors or makeup containers with hidden compartments may be confiscated if agents suspect tampering or concealment. To stay compliant, travelers should choose travel-sized, clearly labeled items and avoid bringing novelty or decorative packaging that could be misinterpreted. Parents often pack toys or gadgets to keep their children entertained during flights, but in 2025, the TSA is especially strict about anything that resembles a weapon, even if it's clearly a toy. Items like toy guns, plastic swords, or even futuristic-looking sci-fi props can lead to delays or confiscation at security checkpoints. This includes popular items like Nerf blasters, laser tag gear, or even keychains and souvenirs shaped like knives or grenades. TSA policy now states that any object that could reasonably cause fear, panic, or confusion among passengers or crew members is not allowed in carry-on luggage, regardless of its actual function. To avoid losing these items or being pulled aside for additional screening, it's best to leave them at home or place them in checked baggage. Even miniature replicas can trigger alerts if they resemble real weapons on an X-ray scan. This rule applies equally to adults carrying novelty items as well, not just children's toys. E-cigarettes and vaping pens are still allowed on flights in 2025, but only when packed correctly, and many travelers are unaware of the latest rules. These devices contain lithium-ion batteries which are considered fire hazards and must be packed in carry-on luggage only, never in checked baggage. However, TSA is now also confiscating vaping devices that are left powered on, leaking liquid, or packed with extra batteries in loose form. E-liquids must follow the same 3.4-ounce liquid rule and should be placed in a clear plastic bag. Any excess liquid or e-juice containers that aren't properly sealed are likely to be thrown out. Travelers carrying vape devices must also remove them during screening and may be asked to demonstrate that the device functions properly. Suspicious or heavily modified devices, especially those with unknown components or DIY modifications, are now routinely confiscated due to safety risks. To comply, all vaping equipment should be turned off, securely packed, and declared if necessary. Traveling in 2025 means adapting to stricter TSA regulations and being extra cautious about what goes into a carry-on bag. Items that were once overlooked or waved through are now under heightened scrutiny, and even seemingly common products can result in confiscation if they don't meet the updated guidelines.
To avoid losing valuable belongings or facing travel delays, always check the TSA website for the latest updates before packing. Remember, a few minutes of preparation can save a lot of stress at the airport. If this video helped you avoid a potential confiscation disaster, hit that like button and subscribe for more travel tips that actually matter. I'm constantly monitoring TSA updates and airline policy changes, so you'll always be ahead of the curve. Drop a comment below and let me know which item surprised you the most, or share your own TSA confiscation story. Other travelers can learn from your experience. Next week, I'm revealing the items that TSA agents are specifically trained to look for in 2025 and how to pack strategically to avoid delays. Don't let outdated packing habits ruin your next trip. Share this video with anyone you know who travels frequently. Trust me, they'll thank you when they're not the ones standing in the security line watching their belongings get tossed in the trash. Safe travels, and remember, a prepared traveler is a happy traveler.